Live from the Washington, D.C. area, it's the Inside Scoop, Emerald Planet. All the ecology news that our viewers want to know. Now, here's your host, Executive Director of the Emerald Planet, Dr. Sam Lee Henn.
Hello and welcome to the Emerald Planet as we come to you from Washington, D.C. in the United States as we look around the globe in 144 different nations looking for those 1,000 best practices, technologies, services, and products as we go through the 21st century. And of course, we're looking for the leadership in all these various countries and how we're going to be able to take a population that's growing to about 9 billion people by 2050 and how to increase the quality of living and not just to exist. And so we have a internationally renowned organization coming into us from India by Skype. This is Lalit Mohan Sharma. He's a director of adaptive technologies for water and the Sehgal Foundation. And also sitting right beside me is Hert, who is the U.S. representative and also the Washington, D.C. representative. And we're glad to have you here.
Thank you. Glad to be here too.
Glad to have you. And Lalit, you're coming in by Skype, and welcome to the Emerald Planet TV.
Thank you.
Give us a little background on your organization, the Sehgal Foundation, and then we have a video that we're going to be playing that will give an overview about the topic most precious to all Indians and the world on water.
We got independence in 1947, and since then India has progressed a lot. But during the process of development, it was not a very uniform. Rural areas and urban areas, the development state was different, and rural areas were not so developed. So Sehgal Foundation chose to work in the rural development area, and Sehgal Foundation work contributes towards water security, food security, and social justice. Women empowerment is very close to our heart, so we work for gender equality. And to reach to the communities, we have a community radio called Alpha.
Well, I tell you, it's fantastic the work you're doing, and it's very broad base. So let's go to this video that's a couple of minutes long on water, and then we'll come back to you, Lalit.
The situation of this village was very grim. Dirty, unhealthy water, deserted schools, unhygienic living conditions. India has thousands of villages like this, where millions do not have access to clean drinking water and proper sanitation facilities. In 2002, Sehgal Foundation started working with the villagers here on innovative, replicable and sustainable interventions. Soon enough, the community started showing a keen interest in learning and implementing the interventions. Together, we started harvesting rainwater from where it falls through check dams, culverts, roof water harvesting, and recharge wells. With the villagers, Sehgal Foundation focused on rejuvenation of traditional water structures and ponds. Access to safe drinking water improved through properly designed biosand filters. Disposal of domestic wastewater and sanitation was taken care of by soak beds and soak wells and latrines. These interventions helped us build effective and participatory systems to promote judicious use and conservation of water in Mewat. In just a couple of years, 30 villages started harvesting enough water to meet the need of 271 villages.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Lalit. Tell us what's so unique about the Sehgal Foundation as far as the issues, the outreach, and the outcomes that you're looking for in so many different villages across this whole particular, very broad geographical area.
Basically, Sehgal Foundation believes that community-led initiatives are better sustainable. So we strengthen community-led initiatives through empowering the communities. And this brings a social, economic, and environmental change in the community very fast. And that results towards secure, prosperous, and dignified life.
And that's very, very important. I think we're keeping good contact with him. Go ahead, Hertz.
Yeah, Lalit, could you maybe explain to our viewers the different areas, the main areas that Sehgal Foundation works in, and also maybe go back to the beginning and tell them why those areas were selected by the founders and the communities?
Basically, we assess the need of local people and what are the sufferings they are facing. And based on that, engaging with the community, we arrived at three most important areas that are water management, agriculture development, and good rural governance. And these three areas are interconnected also, because if you work on one and leave out another, it will not bring the results you want to. So we work in an integrated manner on these three areas. Community media, research work, and adaptive technologies are the support functions or support programs, you can say. And these supports all three major programs.
Yeah, and these thematic ways are really interconnected, as we see in the chart that we just had up there. But what is the biggest challenge that you have? And we're going to focus on water because, as we know, water is life. And that's something that you've been bringing into these villages, many of these that really had virtually no water for most of the year, or just had a surge of water and then would dry out very quickly. So what is the biggest challenge as far as water is concerned?
As far as water is concerned, the scarcity of water is taking place. But with the scarcity of water, the biggest challenge, not only in these areas but throughout the world, is increasing salinity. Salinity is the biggest threat to the world to make water available for all. If you look at a study, it was published in 2001, every person out of 7 persons on this earth are facing salinity issues one way or other. Almost 16% of the Earth's area is affected by the salinity spread. And this salinity is increasing year by year. Another study which was published in 2010, 44% of the world's population is living in coastal areas. And these coastal areas are threatened with the seawater intrusion. So the salinity is the biggest problem, biggest challenge in today's world for water.
Now, looking at these, we talked about these thematic areas, and of course, this whole thing as far as water management, but you actually show how it's an intersect between good rural governance and also agricultural development. Share for our viewers here and around the globe how you're joining these together so you're bringing a unified approach to development in these communities.
Basically, if you look at the agriculture consumes about 90% of the water of total demand. And if water is scarce and it is not proper for agriculture, then productivity goes down. Productivity goes down, then your food security is hampered. So agriculture and water is well connected. Then governance issue. When you have anything in short supplies, then governance is the biggest thing which you can say for uniform distribution of the things. So that way, these three areas are very well interconnected.
And that relates to the salinity then as far as this greatest challenge. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, because if salinity is there in the water, then the use of saline water in the agriculture, it's deteriorating the land itself, and with saline water, crop cannot grow.
And this is something that I understand it's all across India. It's not just in isolated areas, but there's just millions of acres of land, or hectares, as you call it, that you cannot actually grow on anymore because of the salinity. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. In India itself, more than 200,000 square kilometers is affected with the saline groundwater.
That's incredible. Well, we only have about 10 seconds. What do you see for the growth and expansion of these thematic areas, say, over the next 5, 10, 15 years?
So this salinity is spread all over the globe.
Okay. This is Lalit Sharma from the Sehgal Foundation as we create the Emerald Planet.
I need a job.
Necesito trabajo.
I would like to speak English better.
Me gustaría hablar inglés mejor.
I want to be a U.S. citizen.
Quisiera ser ciudadano de los Estados Unidos.
For over 35 years,
Por más de 35 años,
the Hispanic Committee of Virginia has been serving our community.
el Comité Hispano de Virginia ha estado sirviendo a nuestra comunidad.
Job training and placement,
Capacitación, ayuda para conseguir trabajo,
education for children and adults,
educación para niños y adultos,
immigration, naturalization, and medical referrals.
ayuda para los procesos de inmigración y naturalización y orientación sobre médicos
Are a small part of what we do.
son solo una pequeña parte de lo que hacemos.
For help, information, or to volunteer,
Para ayuda, información o para ofrecerse como voluntario,
contact the Hispanic Committee of Virginia,
comuníquese con el Comité Hispano de Virginia,
helping everyone participate more fully in American society.
ayudando a todos a participar plenamente en la sociedad norteamericana.
Hey, Lena, where's yours?
Would you notice if you were missing half your kidney function? According to the National Kidney Foundation, 20 million people have chronic kidney disease, and 20 million more may be at risk and not even know it. Anyone with high blood pressure, diabetes, or a family history of chronic kidney disease is at risk. Early diagnosis is vitally important. To get the whole story, talk to your doctor and visit the National Kidney Foundation at kidney.org or call for a free brochure. Because when it comes to chronic kidney disease, you might not know the half.
We're back to the Inside Scoop Emerald Planet. Here again, your host, Dr. Sam.
Hello, and welcome to the Emerald Planet as we looking around the globe for what we call the best of the best, those 1,000 best practices, technologies, services, products, and of course the people are making a difference as we go towards 2050. 2050, it's going to see 2 billion more people on the planet, and we have to look at how we're going to be able to provide the basic infrastructure, but also the food, the fuel, the fiber, and of course the water that's going to be needed by all these new people. And so it's the fact that we need to actually enhance the quality of life and not have, in essence, maybe as many as a third of the world's population just existing and using only the minimum. And we have a gentleman who's an absolute expert in this whole area, Lalit Mohan Sharma. He is the Director of Adaptive Technology focusing on water with the Sehgal Foundation coming out of India. And sitting right beside me, our special guest is Hert Van Brandt, and he is the Washington, D.C. representative for the Sehgal Foundation. And Lalit, welcome to the Emerald Planet TV.
Thank you.
And you're sharing a topic that's near and dear to all of our hearts, of course, which is water. And thank you for being with us. But looking at your title, I've been intrigued by that. Director of Adaptive Technology and Water for your organization. So tell us a little bit about the Sehgal Foundation and why it has such a focus on water, specifically in rural areas of India.
Basically, water is an engine for the development. Particularly in the villages in India, it's an agriculture-based economy. And agriculture is possible when water is there. In the absence of water, agriculture productivity you cannot think of. So, whole agriculture and the rural areas revolve around the water. And that sets in the process of development.
Yeah, and looking at the notion of what you're doing through the Sehgal Foundation is that you really have water as almost the interconnecting circle among all these disparate activities and projects that you have. And it's fascinating that you've given water such a prominence. So why is the foundation really focused on that? We know it's for development, but also I think you really focus on women empowerment so that they are not spending so much time gathering water. Maybe some of these ideas as far as why the foundation really has this main focus of water.
In fact, when we started working as a rural development agency, and we started in the area where water was really scarce. And there, these women used to walk miles and miles for fetching the water. So they spent a lot of time there. And it was because of the local water was saline. To ease their life, what we did, we tried to create local source of fresh water. And in that regard, we developed many innovative models, like roof water harvesting is one of the models you are showing.
Yeah, we're going to show a video in just maybe about a minute or so, but tell us a little bit about what we're seeing in this diagram, because this is something that your foundation has worked many years on this water harvesting. Define what you mean by water harvesting and how this is actually demonstrated here with the school building.
Basically, Sehgal Foundation started rainwater harvesting systems in the schools first. So what we are doing, we are collecting the roof rainwater and passing it through a pre-filter to exclude the suspended and floating debris, and then store into a storage tank. And then before dispensing it for drinking and other purposes, it is again passed through a filter unit, which eliminates any biological contamination if it is there.
Very ingenious, and that's why I wanted to share this image, and thank you for sharing that with us, Lalit. Hert, why don't you ask the next question?
Yeah, I wanted to know, or maybe you can explain to our viewers, what happened after you stored that water? How has it affected the communities in which Sehgal Foundation works?
In fact, once water is stored and people started using that water, so the time which was consumed for fetching the water from miles, that time is saved. and that time can be used for other productive purposes. And in the areas we are working here, women spend almost 4 to 5 hours for fetching water.
Yeah, that's incredible. Let's have the video now, and this will explain to our viewers, both here and abroad, a little more about what you're doing, and then we'll go in because we have some excellent diagrams and some photographs of this actually going on in the villages.
Groundwater salinity is a huge problem affecting many states across India, as saline water cannot be used for drinking or irrigation. An area more than 200,000 square kilometers is estimated to be affected by salinity. A new way for harvesting rainwater can solve this problem. In a typical model, when the rainwater enters the recharge well, it floats over the saline groundwater as it is lighter in weight. Over time, the rainwater spreads out to form a thin layer over the existing saline groundwater. It is, however, not possible to extract this thin layer of harvested rainwater without getting it mixed with the saline groundwater. To address this issue, the SM Sehgal Foundation has designed what could become an innovative solution. The depth of the recharge well has been extended below the groundwater table, and the height has been raised above the ground to create hydrostatic pressure. As a result of the hydrostatic pressure, the rainwater pushes aside the existing saline groundwater to form a sizable pocket of harvested rainwater within the saline aquifer. The pressure exerted by the surrounding saline groundwater keeps the rainwater pocket intact and prevents it from scattering. A hand pump is then used to extract the harvested rainwater from the water pocket formed within the saline aquifer. To remove biological contaminants, which are the highest cause of death and disease in the world, the water is passed through a biosand filter. 4 processes of natural filtration make the harvested rainwater fit for drinking.
Looking at this particular model that we have, and we're going to put up a slide here in just a minute, Lalit, where is this model for creating fresh water in the salinity areas going on, and how is it applicable in certain communities and maybe not in others?
Basically, this technology, we developed different versions suitable for deeper aquifers, shallow aquifers, and even for seawater intrusion affected coastal areas. So this basic technology is adapted almost for all the areas, all the situations where salinity is found.
I tell you, this is it seems so simple, and it's just amazingly simple, but so profound, the impact that you're having on the lives of these people. So what about the sustainability and resiliency of this, and also the scalability at the same time, whether it's in coastal areas or the interior of India?
Basically, this technology is very much scalable. Actually, whatever amount of water we recharge into the ground, into the aquifer, about 85 to 90% of that you can get it back through any sort of pumping. And the salinity of this does not go more than, say, 200 ppm. Which is much less than the acceptable limits.
So then I'm going to go back to this slide here. So what we're seeing here, is this something you're saying then, Lalit, this could be used almost in any area of India, regardless of the state? And of course, we keep talking about rural areas, which is your emphasis, but also this can be used in urban areas as well, couldn't it?
Oh, yes, it can be used anywhere. The only thing is your aquifer should be able to accept water and then release water.
Okay, all right. And so this is, and tell us a little bit about what we're seeing here as far as why you're creating this special, almost like a giant bubble or underground storage area using the pressure of the salinity water to protect the fresh water.
Generally what happens when you recharge the underground water, so initially it forms a layer of water over the existing saline water. With time it is spread out and spreads over large areas. Once the spread increases, the thickness of water layer keeps decreasing. And ultimately you are left with a thin layer of this rainwater over the existing saline water.
I see.
And taking out that thin layer without getting it mixed with the saline water, it's next to impossible.
So that's why you need this diagram that we have here is critically important as far as protecting the fresh water.
Yes. And because of pressure of surrounding saline water, this pool of fresh water does not get scattered. It remains intact and does not mix with the saline water.
It's just incredible what you're doing, and this is a great image that we have here. We've just about run out of time. Tell us what you see for the expansion. I want to leave this slide up of this type of system around India, not only in the areas where you have the Sehgal Foundation, but other areas.
Basically, we are trying to take this model or other technologies we develop to other areas through partnership. We are partnering with like-minded organizations working in different settings where these models are required. So they take it and then expand in their areas head of there.
That's fantastic. This is Lalit Mohan Sharma. He is the Director, Adaptive Technology Water for the Sehgal Foundation. Sitting right beside me is Harit as we correct the Emerald Planet. The reason we're not getting these questions is that he's...
I helped turn my child's public school into a whole new kind of school. One with a curriculum that really motivates kids. One that has extended hours, 6 days a week, year-round. With loads of academic, cultural, and recreational activities. One that has support services like medical and dental right there. A school where parents' involvement is encouraged. Where teachers have more time to teach. And students are excited about learning. There's just one problem. My child doesn't ever want to come home. You can help turn your school into a community school for excellence. Find out how. Call 1-877-LOVE-TO-LEARN.
It's coming. Right to your neighborhood. And when it does, you may be surprised. It's your Social Security statement of your benefits, and it's going to help you plan your financial future. Your benefit statement will tell you how much Social Security you're eligible to receive and when you'll get it. Then you'll know how much you need to save for retirement, because that's coming too. The future is in your hands. Choose to save.
The toxic fumes from this meth lab are seeping into Jamie's sinus cavity. Ammonia vapors invade her throat. Toxic gases fill her lungs. Jamie's body is deteriorating. And she doesn't even know it.
Jamie, dinner.
So, who has the drug problem now? Find out how meth affects you at drugfree.org/.
We're back to the Inside Scoop Emerald Planet. Here again, your host, Dr. Sam.
Thank you for being with us as we look around the globe in 144 different nations. We're looking for countries that are experimenting, that are innovating and developing new technologies, but even beyond the technologies, which is what we think about how we're going to impact and affect the 21st century, it's really the processes that are being used. And there's an organization in India, and also they have a headquarters in the United States, called the Sehgal Foundation, and we have coming in to us by Skype is Pawan Kumar, who is the program leader for agricultural development of the Sehgal Foundation, and sitting right beside me is our special guest. This is Hert Van Brandt, who is the Washington, D.C. representative for the Sehgal Foundation, and I've come to find out they're everywhere, so it's a very good thing. So, Pawan, welcome to the Emerald Planet TV.
Thank you, Sam.
Glad to have you here with us. Tell us a little bit about your work as what is called Program Leader for Agricultural Development at the Sehgal Foundation, and how does that title and the effort that you have fit into the overall scheme and mission of the Sehgal Foundation?
Yeah, basically we are working with the, for the benefit of the small farmer in India. The India is the house of small farmers. Almost 90% of the farmers, they are small land holding. So the overall objective of the program is to improve the livelihood of the small farmers so that they can live a secured and the prosperous life. Largely we are working on the three aspects. We want to increase their crop productivity from the same piece of land. We want to conserve water in agriculture, which is one of the major issues in Indian agriculture. And also we want to improve the soil health management. So as of now, this agriculture development program is working in 171 villages in 3 states. And we are engaging more than 150,000 farmers. So being a program leader, I'm responsible for managing all these programs in 3 states.
Well, looking at, we have a video we're going to bring up that actually has some interviews that have been done with some of the farmers and the people that you're working with in the villages. So we're going to bring that up, Pawan, and then you and I will go back to our Q&A session. How's that sound?
The dry, water-stressed region of Mewat is only 100 kilometers from India's booming capital Delhi, but it's 100 years behind in development. Here, traditional farming practices have caught the people in a downward spiral of declining crop yields and deteriorating water and soil resources.
अब इतनी बारिश कम हुई है, अब के तो मतलब बहुत कम हुई है। अब के जो तालाब भी है, जो मतलब एक बार भी ना भरा तालाब।
क्योंकि किसान का जो जीना मरना है वो जमींदारा के ऊपर ही होता है।
In 2008, the Mosaic Company, in partnership with the Institute of Rural Research and Development, IRAD, created Krishi Jyoti, a program to improve agricultural practices and livelihoods in this area.
Krishi Jyoti means enlightened agriculture. And what that means in real terms is that this program is a bright light for these villagers. We come in with a very, very simple program that teaches them to do something that they already do, farming. We just teach them to do it a little bit better.
In the beginning, trust was a problem. The people of the Mewat are a closed community, suspicious of outsiders and resistant to change.
Initially, when we came here, we found there was a lot of distrust.
हमने ऐसा लगा था कि बाहर से आए हैं आदमी, हमने इनका विश्वास नहीं किया.
Thanks to previous efforts in the Mewat villages, IRAD had earned the trust of one of the village elders, Abdul Sakur.
तो हमने फिर जब वो मुझे एक बार मेरे पे आए, तो मतलब ये गांव में मैंने सारा गांव का इकट्ठा आदमी करा, छोटा बड़ा, भाई अगर मतलब ये तुम्हें फायदा चाहिए, तो मतलब ये कि भाई इनसे तुम बात कर लो, और तुमसे कोई वो ना ले रहा, कोई बाहर के लोग.
Welcome back Tell us a little bit about the three most urgent issues that are faced by farmers and people living in rural areas of India.
There are many issues, but in agriculture in India. But I think three major issues which we would like to focus on. That is rain-fed agriculture, because almost 200 million hectare area is under rain-fed, and the farmers are entirely depend on the monsoon rain. So, and this is the part of India which is also called as a food bowl of India. So the almost, there's 60% of food production, they are coming from this region. So we really need to focus on that. Second is the water scarcity. Almost half of the India is now under high to extreme high water stress conditions. So the farmers are really facing a lot of problem on that. And third is basically degraded land, because farmers are using same piece of cultivation. They are cultivating same land from centuries and without adding any new essential micronutrients. So the land degradation is because of increasing salinity, because of water logging, soil and water erosion, desertification, and many other factors which lead, making land uncultivable for the farmers.
Yeah, it's hard to be living in the United States with a history as a nation of about 400 years, and to think you've had people living in the area that we're looking at in this map, farming and living there for tens of thousands of years. It's a very different perspective, Pawan, on the problems and the challenges that you have. Harit, do you want to go ahead and ask the next question?
Yeah, you mentioned livelihood improvement thanks to agriculture. Tell us some more. I guess it has to do with poverty reduction. These farmers are very poor. And what do you expect in terms of poverty reduction or livelihood improvement with the programs that Sehgal Foundation offers?
Yeah, I think yes. Agriculture is, has direct and positive correlation with the poverty, because there's more than 60% of the population, their mainstay is agriculture. So when there is a land degradation, the issue of water scarcity, the poor soil health management, that reduce the agriculture productivity. When agriculture productivity is less, the India is a highly populated country, so the pressure on agriculture is very high. Average family size is very high. So there is a gap, between the rate of increasing population and our production. So that gap is, lead to the food insecurity. And further, the factor like unemployment and the farm debt and illiteracy, all these factors together will lead to the extreme poverty in India. In many regions, in many parts of India, you'll find this situation where with the farmer living with a very small food, and they don't have any other option to earn more.
Yeah, and it's very difficult for them to have alternative income sources. But looking at this very simple chart that we have here, tell us how one of these folds right into the other, from low agricultural productivity all the way up to extreme poverty, and then how the Sehgal Foundation is really addressing each of these three main issues highlighted here.
Yeah, basically we have an integrated model where we are trying to address all these issues so that the people can come out of poverty. And the focus of our program, agriculture development program, is to increase productivity. So we want farmer to grow maximum from the same piece of land. So soil health management is very important, because land is getting deteriorated every year, and the farmer are not adding the micronutrients into that. So we develop fertility map, and we educate farmer how they can improve, use the balanced fertilizer applications to increase crop productivity. Water conservation is a big issue, as Lalit told. There is 90% of water used in agriculture. So we educating farmers to adopt the water-saving agriculture practices so that they can reduce pressure on the groundwater. And third is the capacity building, because apart from the productivity and water, there's need of the farmer to give them updated information. They need to be updated on the new technology. They need to be updated on the new seed variety. They need to be updated on what government schemes are available for them. So we including all these factors. We are working on all these aspects so that farmer can have a good livelihood, they can improve their crop productivity, and they can access to the information and the government programs benefit also.
Now, looking at this interactive chart that we have here, improved agricultural livelihood, kind of walk us through this. And I know water management we've talked about, but the other three areas, soil health, capacity building, and allied agricultural activity. Give us a very quick synopsis, because we're running out of time, so we have to be very quick.
Yeah, because agriculture is the major, the livelihood. But apart from that, animal husbandry, when we talk about the allied agriculture activity, animal husbandry is the second best option for the farmers. So we also working on that. There are many landless farmers in India also, and they survive on the, the income from the animal husbandry. So we are also equally addressing the issues of landless community. Apart from that, we are integrating other issues like water management and soil health management. So all these factors together can lead to a good livelihood of a person.
Well, looking at this integrative approach, we're running out of time. We have about 15 seconds. So what do you see for the future of the work that you're doing as far as agricultural development, say over the next 5, 10, 15 years, Pawan?
Yeah, agriculture is a capital-intensive program, so we need to partner with the more corporate. We have to develop more collaboration with the research institute, to work with the government. So maybe next 5 years we want to expand to 5 new states.
And this is Pawan Kumar, who is a program leader for agricultural development at the Sehgal Foundation.
Some dreams are universal. Dreams that inspire us. Multiple sclerosis is a devastating disease that changes lives forever. The National MS Society does more for people with MS than any organization in the world. But we can't do it alone. To get involved, visit us online at nationalmssociety.org or call 1-800-FIGHT-MS. This is why we're here. Because nobody dreams of having multiple sclerosis.
What's wrong with this picture? Half of young Americans can't locate economic powers like Japan and India. 20% can't even find the Pacific Ocean. Without geography, our children aren't ready for the world. Geography is everywhere. It's incredible creatures, rhythm, fashion, flavor. It's economics and politics. It's change. Understanding connections between people and places is critical in the 21st century. That's why we created mywonderfulworld.org. Go there now for your free parent and teacher action kits and give our kids the power of global knowledge. Because kids who understand our world today can succeed in it tomorrow.
to the Inside Scoop Emerald Planet. Here again, your host, Dr. Sam.
Hello, welcome to the Emerald Planet TV as we come to you on a week-to-week basis from Washington, D.C. in the United States as we look around the globe in 144 different nations, looking for those 1,000 best practices, technologies, services, products, and of course the people that are making a difference as we move through the 21st century. And as we go to a planet of 9 billion people by 2050, how are we going to be able to take care of all these people, but increase the quality of living and not just have people that are living on the edge of existence? And we have someone who is working in agriculture in the nation of India, who's a true expert in all these various topics. This is Pawan Kumar. He's coming in by Skype, program leader on agricultural development for the Sehgal Foundation. And sitting right beside me is a colleague from that same organization, but headquartered in Washington, D.C. This is Hert Van Brandt, Washington, D.C. representative for the Sehgal Foundation. And Pawan, welcome back to the Emerald Planet TV.
Thank you.
Glad to have you with us. Looking at the Sehgal Foundation, tell us a little bit about why a highly skilled person like you would be attracted to such an organization, and then what types of opportunities has that given you for both your personal and professional life as far as doing the things that you really want to do, because I know you enjoy your work because you've said so.
Yeah, actually I worked with in many parts of India, and I think the Sehgal Foundation is a different organization. It's a professionally managed organization and genuinely working at the grassroots level. So, and while working with the Sehgal Foundation, we got a lot of opportunities to learn, from what we do in the field, and I would say it's a pioneer philanthropic organization who brought professionalism in this sector. So this is what attracted me, the Sehgal Foundation, and this approach is very good actually. We always focus on the community-led development. We believe in a bottom-up approach. All planning has to be done at the grassroots levels. We act, think globally, act locally. We believe on this aspect that, and also we have a strong social and scientific research background. So whatever do, it has a scientific knowledge. It has to be accredited with our scientists. So this is how the professionalism is more included in Sehgal Foundation work.
No, it sounds like you really enjoy your time there, and also it sounds like it's very challenging at the same time, because literally every day you're learning something new.
Yeah.
And now looking at some of the special solutions that have been developed through the Sehgal Foundation, tell us a little bit about those. We have these incredible charts here. Tell us a little bit about this, but this directly relates to the research and development that you're doing through the Sehgal Foundation.
Yeah, it's most of our farmers, they are not very well educated. They are illiterate. So when we start our work, if you talk about the soil health management, we develop a fertility map. The map shown on your screen is a one case where we have developed a map of entire district, so that we have the information and we can educate the farmer what are the deficiencies in their soil and how they can address these issues. So, and only saying is not enough. We show them through the demonstration on the field, so that the farmer can learn at every stage of, when crop grow. He can see the difference between what we are teaching to them and what practices he is using from many decades. So this makes them, to learn at every stage of crop development. And finally, you see the difference between demonstration and the control plots. So, and the farmer works as a change agent. When he learn, actually, he spread message very fast, because farmers to farmers communication works very well. In terms of water management, it's a subsidized, the scheme. So we basically facilitate between the government department and the farmer, so they can get maximum advantage of all these schemes run by the government. Like drip irrigation you are seeing in this picture. We also promote this sprinkler irrigation, which is very much need actually in agriculture development, because water is getting depleted every year. So these are the works which we do. And water conservation, we also do laser leveling, which help in saving water, because most of the farm, they are not precisely leveled. If farmers use this laser leveling, so they can save 25 to 30% water into the agriculture.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's incredible savings, and also that goes to the bottom line as far as increasing the profits to these farmers and their families, and that's something that's very important, particularly in India, since you have such a high population still involved in agriculture, that they feel like they have a real life in the rural areas, and they're not having to migrate into the cities and just become, just a nameless, faceless person in these areas. Hert, you have another question.
Yeah, I'm intrigued, of course, by women working the land, and anybody who's traveled in India, as in Africa, actually, you always see that the land ownership is in the hands of men, but it's really women who do a lot of work on the land. How do you engage the women farmers in your new programs?
Yeah, you rightly said. Actually, women are the backbone of Indian agriculture. We cannot see women as different, because I have seen, and you also seen in India and Africa, the women works more than men. And, but they don't get, recognized as a farmer. They don't get the status of farmers. And so we have an exclusive program of women farmers, where we educate women farmers. We teach them, or we provide them all information, because the man goes out, he get all information. That's why he's the decision maker. And if the same information we give to the women, same knowledge, if women get the same knowledge, they will also be the decision maker in agriculture. And that's the program which we are running in Rajasthan, where we specifically focusing on women farmers to address the gender gap in agriculture.
We're going to show a video right now that really goes to the heart of this, the success of women as far as agriculture. So let's watch this video, and then Pawan, will be right back to you for our next question.
हमारे सोशल सेटअप में आप देखोगे जो भी निर्णय है खेती के बारे में वो आदमी लेता है। उसका कारण ये है कि महिलाओं के पास उतना ज्ञान नहीं है, उतनी नॉलेज नहीं है, उतनी वो पढ़ी लिखी नहीं है। जब तक जानकारी नहीं होगी तब तक उनको ऐसे ही ट्रीट किया जाता रहेगा जैसे अनपेड लेबर है।
हमने प्रोजेक्ट में एक मॉडल सोचा कि हम स्वयं सहायता समूह की जो महिलाएं और जो खेती में डायरेक्टली जुड़ी हुई हैं, इन ग्रुप की महिलाओं में से एक को इसका लीडर दे देते हैं, जो फार्मर ग्रुप बनाएगी। और उस फार्मर ग्रुप के लीडर को हमने नाम दे दिया कृषि सखी।
तो हमें कोई नहीं जानता था कि हर प्यारी है। अब सभी लोग जानने लग गए, भाई ये कृषि सखी है, ट्रेनिंग लेती है, इनको जानकारी है सब चीज़ की, खाद की भी, दवाई की भी।
ये हमें इसलिए अच्छा लगा कृषि सखी का मॉडल कि काम करने वाली जो खेत पे हैं एक्चुअली में वुमेन्स ही हैं। अपनी जो ये तकनीकी है इसको फील्ड लेवल तक पहुंचाने के लिए महिलाओं से जुड़ने के लिए एक महिला की जरूरत तो पड़ेगी हमको।
किसान महिला जो हैं उनको समझाते हैं कि भाई आप यूरिया अंधाधुंध डाल रहे हो, ये अच्छा नहीं है, अपनी ज़मीन जो भूमि खराब हो रही है।
सॉइल आजकल ज़्यादातर प्रॉब्लमेटिक हो रही हैं क्योंकि अंडरग्राउंड वाटर हो या तो एल्कलाइन हो रहा है या सैलाइन हो रहा है।
Now, Pawan, going to the women farmers and the hard work they're doing, I know that majority of the work is actually done by the females in these rural areas. What are some of the impacts that you're seeing from these intervention strategies through the Sehgal Foundation?
I saw the change, when we started the project few years on the women farmer, and when we asked the women farmer, what is the support you are getting? What change they say in this project? So they say now people recognize us as a farmer because we have the information, and we also advise our husbands so what to use, what not to use, how much to use. So now, initially when we started, the man was not very supporting. He was not allow her to attend our training. But when she shared their knowledge with the husband, so he was really impressed, and he now is very supportive. And in many cases, I saw that women corrected her husband that no, you are using the different fertilizer. Should not be used in that particular crop. So I would say that women are now more knowledgeable, they are more confident, and their knowledge has increased at par what men have. In many cases I have seen that women are the more knowledgeable than her husband. So that change is happening in the society, but it takes time actually. It cannot be seen in a few years or in the next 5 or 10 years. It's a slow process, but change are there.
Well, the whole thing is you have thousands of years of history and culture there, and so what you're trying to do is you're trying to change this, but it just takes decades in order to do that. And I'm just going through some of these images that we have here of the women being involved and very intimately involved. And I think one of the things that you found that the women take really very quickly to new knowledge and new experiences and experimentation, maybe even faster than some of the men. Is that one of the things that you found through your research?
Absolutely. Actually, women, they listen very carefully, and the good thing I find that whatever we teach to them, they apply it on the field. So they are more, the credible actually in terms of seeing actually what they have learned from our project. So women are more serious than men actually, and they are very enthusiastic to learn more about agriculture.
Well, thank you for sharing. This is Pawan Kumar. He is a program leader, agricultural development at the Sehgal Foundation. And our good friend, Harit, is sitting right beside us. And thank you for being with us as we look around the globe to create the Emerald Planet.